Welcome to our weekly market review. It's brought to you by ETM Analytics and Treasury One. As per usual, I'm joined by Treasury One's currency strategist, Andre Cilliers. Andre, the last time we spoke about these two giant elephants fighting it out and the grass, which is us, getting trampled as China and the US is trying to figure out this new geopolitical order that they find themselves in. And, they finally managed to, at least at the surface, strike some kind of short-term truce. Obviously, there's a lot of questions about how much substance really lies underneath this agreement. But for what it's worth, it's giving Washington some breathing space, just with some market certainty, albeit for a short period of time. And when we look at China and the data coming out of China, they kind of needed some relief on the tariff front when it comes to some of the exports and all of that. So they are obviously, I suspect, also sighing a sigh of relief ever so slightly. But will it hold? Because that is the question.
Good day to everybody. Okay, so I said over the last week or three that if you look at China and the US, then it's the two biggest economies in the world. They will strike some sort of a deal because the two biggest economies in the world cannot be at loggerheads with each other all the time, and you cannot just increase tariffs all the time. I don't think that these two presidents like each other at all. And I think they tolerate each other because the economies of the world needs them to actually tolerate each other. So they've agreed on something. The Americans will get their rare earth metals. China will import soybeans and stuff. And, on the surface, there's, as you mentioned, an agreement. How long it will last, because geopolitical, there's differences. On other ends, there's differences. So none of that was discussed. None of that is sorted out between these two biggest economies and these two most important leaders in the world. So will it last? For a while, yes. Then something will flare up and it will come to the forefront again. But for the moment, we have an agreement, and that's basically all we can say about this. For the moment, there's an agreement.
So that's kind of a semi-true, semi-calm moment that we had, which is, a blessing if you take the whole context of what 2025 has been. But now we throw on top of that a US government entering its 6th week of shutdown, which means markets are flying blind. There's no data. We're not sure exactly what the official stats are saying when it comes to labor, everything else. So obviously the focus will have to turn on anything else coming out of the private sector, whether that is data releases, whether that is some Fed speak. There was some very interesting mention over the weekend about certain pockets of the US economy, for example, being in recession. We looked at all the Fed officials and what they've been saying with regards to interest rates, because in light of this lack of data, everyone is looking for anything just to get some idea of where the US economy is heading.
Yes, there is some private reports filling the gap. These private reports doesn't have all the depth and doesn't have all the reliability and history behind it that comes from the statistic departments of the government. However, there is some information that comes through. That information tells us that slowly but surely unemployment is on the rise, job creation on the decline. We now, as you say, in the 5th week, I make it 7 times.
Did I miss out?
Yeah, it's in the 5th week.
It's been more than a month.
When this started, I said that the longest close down in history so far was 35 days in 2018, and the president then was Donald Trump. It's 2025, the president is Donald Trump. I also said that the division between Democrats and Republicans have never been as deep as it is currently, and this long closure points to that. So likely to actually exceed the 35 days, can create havoc. Word is out that, you know, in terms of flights and all these things, as you get closer to Thanksgiving, could cause further havoc within the economy. The closure will definitely have an impact on the duration of this closure, and will have an impact on the confidence that people got in the economy, the confidence to employ, etc. So yes, this adds to the negativity. It adds to the possibility of a possible recession. You say that some of the areas might already be there. No official statistics, so we don't know, but will definitely have an impact.
Yes.
And that will cause the Federal Reserve to most likely have to look at another interest rate cut in December, although Mr. Powell, and I said it last week, he will point to data dependence and inflation that's still a bit of a problem and so forth. And we know that it was not a unanimous decision within the Federal Reserve. So let's wait and see. I don't want to speculate too much. I'm sure of it that within the next week or two, we'll have some move on the closing and stroke opening of government, and then a heck of a lot of release of figures, and then we'll have better information.
Yeah, it is very tricky. You know, as you mentioned previously, it was just over a month. I'm concerned that if it gets longer than that and we're heading to 2 months, maybe even a whole quarter, not that it's likely, but I have questions on how that is going to play out in the markets when this blindfoldness that we are working with is going to continue for a prolonged period. But the one who is having a very sunny 2025, as I mentioned last week as well, is, of course, the Rand. Are we seeing similar ranges? Because it's enjoying some support at the moment.
The Rand's doing pretty well. If you look at the dollar, that's actually gained quite substantially against the euro and the pound and so forth. Then it's very clear that the Rand is very resilient, because your cross rates on the euro is below 20, on the pound well below 23, 22.70. You know, so the Rand is really doing well. And there's nothing on the forefront that points to any negativity at this stage. And we know that we've been removed from the grey list. That helps and ease doing business for a lot of international people. So we're riding the wave, and there's no reason why this should end at this point in time. So I think between 17 and 17.35 is where we are. And I think we'll stay there for the foreseeable future.
Well, thanks, Andre. I hope we enjoy our quieter week, because it's going to be a quieter week on the data front as well. And we will catch up again next week, Monday.
Thank you very much.